Hello, the game has started. It's me to go first. I've got the blank, which is great, but the rest of the rack not so good. C, F, J and Y a bit clunky. Initial reaction is that this is too good a rack to change. So I'm thinking about playing just FY. Doesn't give much away. And I think this is the best possible rack leave. I'm not going to get rid of the J with the F and the Y. And I need to play 2 out of these 3, so I'm going with this. That looks a lot more promising. I should be able to get rid of the J this turn, in which case I'll be leaving all bingo-y tiles. But is there a bingo here? Nothing's come to mind. Injective would be a 9. I'm just going to run through the alphabet and see if any 7s or 8s come to mind. Bijective, again a 9. So not seeing anything yet. And row H available for non-bingos ending IFY. So that's got the inject component, so injection. Again, a 9-letter play. Okay, this isn't looking promising in terms of 7s or 8s. Jesuitic through an S. And juiciest. Okay, so there is an 8. That would be injective with an N and an E. Okay, so all I've seen is juiciest, which would require a U or an S, and it's anagram Jesuitic. So supposing neither of those is available, and opponent changes, what do I do? I've got Citify for not very much, and that's retaining the J, so not a fan of that. It would be good to play off an I as well, but there's no way I can see it playing off the J with an I. I've got Jet on the rack, but that's not great. So opponent taking a while on this play. Phi is fairly blocky. No access to double word squares or triple word squares. Yeah. So just 16 points and no new floaters. Can't see anything through FE or YO. So tricky situation. What to do here? I'm thinking about playing Sit because it's tight, it doesn't give much away, and although with a blank I'm looking to bingo, there's plenty of time in this game, and I'm going to struggle to bingo if I've got a tile as non-bingo-y as the J on my rack, so it makes sense to keep it tight until my rack is in the right shape. And 18 points for Sit isn't bad, and it is splitting up the duplicate I. I'm going with this. Quite a nice rack. Not sure it's nice enough to create a bingo, but I should be able, or could be able, to play off the J with the V by playing Jive or Jives. C only takes an H underneath it, but if either of us has an H, that's likely to be quite a hot spot. Fet takes an A, E, S and T. So I have an E. Phi takes nothing after it, Geo only an S, so, and Fet nothing in front, so this is looking very much like a ladder. But the C is going to hamper that ladder unless opponent has got an H, which is going to force him to play to the right in row K. Or he could play down column 5. Okay, so he has played to the right, and look at this. He's provided a really nice J spot. But can I take advantage of it? Not sure I can, and by advantage I mean getting it to play twice. So I've got the E for a J-E play, but then I have to burn my blank. Wow, that's a shame. Do I have a bingo through this O? I don't think so. I don't have anything down from the G. So I could play jives and fetters, placing the J above this double word square. Doesn't feel great. An alternative would be just to play Joe for 25. Then the remaining tiles are pretty bingo-y, especially with this 7-letter lane ending in S. And opponent's going to struggle to get value off the J. If he plays in row L, he'll be just creating new spots for my bingo. So I hope I'm not missing a J-E play. But I don't think I am. I'm going with this. Well, let me just pause. So that's 25. What would jives be? 38. So I'm sacrificing 13 points. Yeah, a sacrifice well worth making. So I have Venines. Possibly other things. I'm just wondering if there's a bingo with the blank as an A. Vannies. I don't think Vienna's is good. Not sure about Vannies, but I'm fairly sure on Venines. It could just be Venin. What about other values for the blank? That's my Venines play, if it's good. Not seeing anything else at the moment. Venison. Wow, that looks nice. A glow takes nothing after it, so there isn't actually anywhere to play venison. But there could be after opponent creates new bingo lanes. That's the Ness ending with V-I-N. And that's Invents, which is definitely good. That plays in row L, along with Venines. Okay, so Invents, Venines possibly. Venison, not currently playable. And possibly a bingo with the blank as an A, but I'm not sure of that. Column 11 also available for bingos because J takes an A and an O after it. But V and W don't feature in a ton of bingos. I lead by 18 and opponent taking quite a bit of time. Down to the 14-minute mark. And he plays. So I've still got my row L spot. J only takes an L after it, which doesn't assist. The I only available as the final letter in a bingo. Not seeing one there. Now, if I could get my V doubled, that would be a much bigger score than 4 Invents. Let me just check Vannies. It's not good. Great, I shan't play that. Now, Venines was the other one, and that also gets the V doubled, so let's see if this stays on. I'll make this the blank because it's more likely to be used by opponent. Let me type. Okay, finally there, Venines for 84. Great. That took a bit of a while to play. So, what have I got here? A lot of consonants. Could be something through the right vowel. What's available at the moment? Just an E. Not seeing anything through that. But although this is an unbalanced track, these consonants go quite well together. And I've got an L for making jail, but I can't reach the double word square. I could play phlegm through a G. And this opening move phi has really hampered development of the top of the board, which is fine because I'm ahead. I'm not seeing any good candidate plays. Through an A, I would have Pelham, which would play off all of my scoring tiles. I'm looking in column 2 to see if I've got anything using this triple letter square and getting doubled. But I'm not seeing anything. Now, what about row L to the right underneath J, O? Well, my L can go there. So the best I can do there is L, E, H, R. I note that I've picked up an S, which is handy. Not especially so on this board at the moment, but I think with a lot of tiles to come, the S is still a good tile to have. And it doesn't only feature in last place in bingos. So LEHR would be 30 points, quite a tidy score, keeping SMP, which is quite reasonable. So how about column 1? Supposing opponent leaves this V alone, is that any good for me? Not sure it is. Perv doesn't get tripled. Well, yes it is, because I have VEHM, V-E-H-M. It keeps 4 consonants, but they're pretty good consonants, L, P, R, S. If I pick up 2 vowels, I'm probably close to having a bingo. And that stays available. Fantastic, and only 24 points for opponent. Very encouraging. So, VEHM for 36. Well, I missed the vowels, just the one. In fact, I picked up U and V. Not great, and I burnt my M for them. I've still got the L for jail. But again, I'm not seeing anything great down there. I could play love, but I don't really like stopping one square short of a double word square with 2 S's and a blank to come. So my lead, 99 points. So a good bingo's lead, but still a lot of action to come. And this is a tricky rack, and the board is quite tight. I don't mind the board being tight, but there's very few candidate plays. I guess I could play love and all, which would stop my opponent scoring well off the J. And then opening column 14 for my S is fine, because if opponent goes there. Okay, let me stop that thought, because opponent has taken out that spot. Rad only takes an S after it. So this might be worth burning the the S. Plush for 42 is pretty good. It's not giving very much away. Plush may take a Y, may not. I think it does. But so what? And column 14, although it's a bingo lane, any bingo there will open column 15, and this is a good score. And I'm splitting up U and V. I am going with this. Well, more horror. However, I do have the I for going with the Q, so I have two spots for that. I have Chi and I'd, and Chi and Pi. Although Chi and Pi, I might shy away from playing because opponents only got to have an I or a blank to score heavily in column 15. And look at this Phi, all of the action below the middle row. So do I have any other Q options? Wow, opponent does bingo. Burns the blank, burns an S, 79 points. I still lead by 40. I've got this Chi and E and I'd spot, but I don't have to play that straight away. What do I have in column 15? Well, I have nothing which goes after the I. It would be nice to split up Q and V. There's no ut for kiviut. There is un. This is actually quite a tricky position. If I played Miri, I'm burning both eyes. And I'm keeping B, Q, V. That cannot be best. So what else can I do? How many U's to come? 2. What about Vibro? Not even sure it's good. It's not. Vitro is good. Through a U, I would have Bivium. That would sort the rack out. I could play Chi and Bai, stopping opponents scoring at the top. That has some merit. Rack lead pretty horrendous, but I'm burning the Q. But if I could get rid of B and V, possibly M, I think I'd rather do that. 12 minutes on my clock. Can't see anywhere for Merv. So I have Vim and Mun. What about Vim up here? That's 18 points. Pretty killing. I'm retaining my Chi spot up here. I'm splitting up Q and V. I'm stopping opponents scoring in column 15. I'm going with this. Great. I draw A's for cat. That gives me options, or may give me options. At the moment I've just got Chi and I'd. Well, and Chin in row G. But if you take out the Q from this rack, the rest of the rack pretty bingo-y. Through a U I would have Burka. Through an N I would have Trank, so I have Trank in row G. That's pretty good. Opponent's not going to be able to place an I underneath it. Well, opponent goes there, and for only 21 points, which is good. So, do I play Chi and I'd? I think I do, because, well, I'm limited in where I can play the Q. This may be the only spot. But if I draw an N, I have Trank. And this rack leave is not too bad. Duplicate A not so much of a problem as duplicate I, O or U. Just checking that there isn't a better Q spot that I've overlooked. And I'm not seeing it. I'm going with this. Well, I don't hit one of the ends. I have tabular on my rack, but there are no bingo lanes on the board, which is a nice thing to say when you're 50 points ahead. Except row N and O, for bingos being H and M. Well, they don't assist me. Both blanks have gone, fortunately. By only takes an O in front. P takes an E in front, but not many words end EI, although there are some. Is there anything else apart from Trank which ends with a Q? Talak, and I have it. Fantastic. Wow, that one nearly slipped my mind. That would be 42 points, keeping BUR. It would be the final U, which is okay. It would be creating a bingo lane, but a fairly safe one. Great, opponent does not create a new bingo lane. I have Talak for 42. Obi takes a G in front, I've just drawn one. Rom, well, and K takes an O in front, so column 12 is available for OG words. 3 O's to come, so retaining the G might be worth doing. There look to be a ton of E's to come. And look at this, still the Z. So, my lead is 70 points. Not certain to remain that way. However, I must be the favourite. Board's still tight. Just looking at column 2 and column 12. Not much else on offer. Wow, Hersey, very nice. 40 points. Draws opponent to within 31 points of me. I pretty much have to play in row O, I think. S doesn't take anything after it that I have. So do I have a play beginning with U? I have herb. Do I have anything longer? And what about a play beginning with E? E-double-R, Eng. So not seeing anything better than herb, but herb's not bad. It's 20 points, rack leave, pretty balanced. I'm not creating a new bingo lane. It's now irrelevant whether plush takes a Y because all the Y's and blanks have gone. I'm going with this. A scoring tile in the W. And an O. I've now got an OG spot, so I can play WOG in column 12. Do I have anything that goes in front of ROM? I think it's just F and P, which isn't going to work with a G anyway. Or not very often. Ah, opponent's stolen my spot. What a shame. But only 17 points, which is good. So, what to do? From takes nothing in front. I've got a good balanced rack, but my lead is only 30 points. There is a bingo lane in column 2. The remaining tiles are bingo-y. I don't think there are any something og fire words. So what to do here? If I played a big play down from column 2, a 5-letter play in column 2, I'm creating at least 3 floaters, at least 4 floaters. But which isn't good. But if I play lower down, then I'm just creating a new bingo lane. However, I could play WOG here. 16 points, that's grim. But what do I do if I don't play there? and that's just inviting opponent to score 30 points. Whereas if I leave this spot alone, if opponent, whether or not he bingos, anything in column 2 is going to provide scoring options for me. So that may be worth leaving alone. 7 minutes on my clock, 6 on my opponent, still 15 tiles to come. Jaw only takes an S after it. So if I don't play in column 2, what are the options? I play in column 11. GON, keeping the W for score. Only 11 or 12 points, that's the problem with that. I play in row I. Do I have a none play? Not seeing one. Not seeing anything useful in row N. Wow, tricky position. So, what about playing grow? Let me check the remaining vowels. 11 out of 22, it's balanced, although there are E's to come, but duplicate E is not too much of a problem. I think this is fairly hard to play parallel to. A bingo would require 4 parallel tiles. I don't think column 1 is super dangerous. And hopefully we can just run the game out with a series of parallel plays. I'm going with this. And I draw the Z, which is really good. That would have been the best way for opponent to catch me without bingoing. I can play G's in row D. Not sure I want to, putting the Z above the double word square, but it is always good to have options. ZE is good, but Pez isn't. My lead, about 50 points. I've still got an N for chin, but I'm not seeing anything which is longer than none, and I'm not seeing anything which begins higher up either, so that's not a particularly useful spot, although it may be in a tight end game. It would score 15 points. Great, this is what I was looking for, a series of parallel plays. And res is good, but I'm not sure I have any bingos on my rack. I have Zap. 302, 338, just 30-point lead. I don't have anything in column 1. Remaining tiles very bingo-y. I don't have to play the Z off. I've got Zek, 7 tiles in the bag. And Hour takes nothing after it that's left. So column 4, not a bingo lane. In fact, there are no bingo lanes on the board. So I certainly don't wish to create one. Four minutes on my clock, that's not very much. Maybe I should just play chin and none now. Retaining the Z for scoring later. If I draw an A, I would have Tsar and Ag. The res spot is still available. Well, what about playing just ZE? Well, that invites a play down column 4, ending ZE. But it's 27 points. And the alternative would be just to play none for 15. And then if I draw an I would have pies in column 4. But can I do something better than none? 3 minutes on my clock. Just scanning the board for scoring spots, not seeing any. I think I'm going to play Chin and None for 15. So I now have Les and Res. That didn't feel great, that None play. And remaining tiles, super bingoing. Great, only 22 points. Opponent has created 2 new bingo lanes. Les is going to block one of them and create a new one. 36 points, so I'm going to lose. There are only 2 tiles in the bag, so I lose to a bingo. And I've got 2 minutes to figure out if this is the right thing to do. Does opponent have a bingo beginning with D? Does he have a bingo beginning with E or going through the L? Well, nothing is jumping out at me, and this is a good score. So this will enable me to survive any non-bingo plays. But is this the best I can do? I think it is. And this is what opponent's got. He's got 5 vowels, which is encouraging. Not seeing anything with D, E or L, although there could be. So I now turn my attention to my own rack. Res takes no single tile after it, and I can't see any longer plays beginning with it. I think I have Cleep ending E. Well, it's just without the E. So that is a decent play. Opponent has 4 minutes on his clock. And there's also a bingo lane ending in K. But I think he's just been killed by too many vowels. Death by vowel. What else do I have apart from Cleep? Not much. This board has been fairly tight throughout. I think Panique is good, but with double N. Let's just check that while we're waiting. Yeah, that's a pretty fancy play. I don't have it. I would need an N, a further N for that. I have Deepen in row A. Doesn't score very much, but does ship a lot of tiles. Opponent should be able to go out in 2 if he doesn't have a bingo. And he has 3 minutes on his clock. If opponent takes out in some way the top left, I'm going to struggle to find anything to play with this rack. Can't see any plays in column 10 through jaw. No front extensions to Vim. I guess I have Peck, which is what originally got me thinking about Panique. I do have Peck. And it's important to play off the P with the C if I can, since that will count against me with count back. Okay, great, just 10 points for opponent, and it's possible he won't go out in 1. He stopped me playing Cleep, which is fine. Ode is good, so he has set himself up for Dune. So Peck for 12. And I should be able to go out with ENE. I certainly can at the moment in row D because of PE. I've also got EN, P and N. Not sure I do have a second out. Maybe I don't. Well, I do because I have EN and HG. And I've scraped through the 400 mark, which is always a rule of thumb target. I feel if I fall significantly short of 400, I probably missed quite a few things. Both of us having used almost all our time. So great, just 8 points for opponent. And I have EN for 11. I also have EN and Eon. Quick scan of the board in case there's something better. Now, if I'd had no, I could have played Rezone. I'm going with EN for 11. And the final score, 342 for my opponent, 418 for me, a winning margin of 76 points, so a huge, huge win. Let's see what I missed. It was me to go first, and could have got 50 by burning the blank. I play 5 for 16. I still prefer my play. It's 34 points less than Jiffy, but the blank alone is worth 25 or 26, so I think 5 would simulate better because Jiffy is providing loads of floaters, it's providing opportunities for a J score, it's opening up a double-double lane. So yeah, I'm still happy with my play. Opponent's rack plays Geo, and I play Sit for 18, that looks fine. Opponent's rack plays a Glow, and Jives was what I was thinking about. And what do I do here? I think I just played JO for 25, keeping Vines and a blank. And I still like that join for 55 is burning the blank, and this rack leave of EINSV blank, I would say is pretty good. That's probably worth in the region of, I would say 40 to 45 points. That is a monster rack leave, even though it contains a V. Opponent's rack plays J. Now I have Venines, and Invents was the only other bingo. Opponent's rack plays Ducks, and now I have Vame for 36, which looks fine. Great rack for opponent, but no bingo. He has Inroads, Ordains, and Sad Iron, and Donairs. Nowhere for any of them. Plays Rad. And I have Plush for 42, which looks fine. Great rack for opponent. He does get a bingo down now with Boonies. And I have a slender lead and an awful rack. And I spent a while on this play. And in the end I went with Chi for 17. No, I didn't. I went with Vim for 20. Well, all of these rack leaves really horrible, which makes it difficult to compare these plays, but I still like them. No standout, obviously better ones. Opponent's rack plays Ute, and what do I do here? I played Chi for 18, and that looks fine. Opponent plays Core, and I have Talent, which nearly eluded me. And now opponent's on turn and he's a bingo behind. Plays Hersey. Or he could have played Heya, retaining the S. And I have Bunga in column 2, but that's really creating new bingo lanes at the top of the board. And opponents created one at the bottom, and I do not want that to happen. So I actually prefer Herb, which restricts my opponent to column 2, which is where I'd like him to be restricted to. If he bingos there, he just provides me an easy parallel scoring spot. But he's not going to bingo, not with this rack. Plays Fire. And this was a rack I struggled with. I didn't like the idea of creating new bingo lanes, which is why in the end I went with Grow, which does create new bingo lanes, but not a massive number. Opponent plays a tat. Knees, B4. Wow. Would I have played that? Yes, I would. I'd have played that if I'd seen it. Big score. I play Chin and Nun for 15. Opponent plays Daita. Lees and Knees both available. However, in this instance, Les might be better. It really depends on whether there's a bingo across from the D for opponent. Now, opponent does have rezone. That wouldn't have been enough. I play Peck and not much else on offer. No out for opponent. He plays On. And finally, O1. Meanie available for 14. 3 more points than I got for Een. So, what a game. Super tight board. 5 really crushed the action down to the bottom half of the board, and eventually it squeezed up into the top half on the left and the right hand side. But by that point I was a bingo ahead and managed to pretty much keep it that way until the end of the game. So quite a lot of interesting strategic and move choices going on in that game. I hope you enjoyed watching it, and I will see you next time.